Hello, welcome to All That Matters Online. My name is Michelle Tremont. Here's the plan for today. It's going to be a restorative class. It's going to be a full out, pretty long class. These are the props that I have. I have a blanket over my mat. If you're familiar with restorative, or even if you're not, I find that having this extra cushion on your mat makes it that much more comfortable. The entire class is done laying around. That's what I always say. We lay around, we change positions, and then we lay around some more. So I like to have that. I have a second blanket that I'm going to show you how I'm going to fold it, just for extra support, for pillows. I have a strap. This strap is super optional. We're just going to use it for the first pose, and we barely need it. If you have your strap, take the time to loop it through so that when you pull it this way, right, it doesn't move, right? Does that make sense? You don't want the strap to move. We're going to be looping it. It's going to be acting as a support. All right. If you would, for the first pose, we're setting up with this recliner pose. I call it a reclining chair pose. I have 2 blocks. You can use 1 block. You can use no blocks, okay? So I have 1 block up on the medium setting, like this pose, 1 block down low, and then I lay this over. This is what's gonna happen. I'm going to be leading a guided imagery class. There are some people that cannot imagine, right? You can't picture things, I get that. So on top of the guided imagery, I'm going to be leading a physical tense and release exercise, okay? What this also does is that if you want to retake this class, you have a completely separate avenue to focus on, okay? So it's kind of a 2-for-1. I'm going to be timing. My phone is out. It's a timer, okay? Not checking my emails. And the other thing is that when the pose is over, I'm going to ring this bell. Okay, that's the symbol, that's what you're gonna listen for. All right, good enough, let's do it. The first pose, your legs are gonna go up on the bolster. Surprise, okay. So scoot your fanny right up to the edge of the bolster, or however it looks, or if you don't have a bolster, start putting pillows up just so that your legs are at an incline, all right? I'm gonna cross one ankle over the other. Here's where you're gonna take the strap, loop it around your thighs, and tighten it up. Oh, that's the other thing. I am going to show you the pose, and then I'm going to come out of it and talk and look at the camera, okay? So if you're like in the middle of the pose and look at me sitting up, that's why, because I'm talking to you, I'm guiding you. I don't need to stay in the pose because I'll get too sleepy and no one wants that. All right, so go ahead and lay yourself down. Get this a little tight, a little comfy. One leg is crossed over the other. Here's an option for your blanket. You can use it as a pillow. I like to have a neck roll. Oh, see, this is why I can't lay in the pose. It's just so beautiful, okay? Good. Or if you don't have the second blanket, don't worry about it. Oh, yeah. So settle in here. No matter where you are in this day, in this moment, this is where you've landed. Oh, so enjoy it. Good. Once you've got a couple of breaths in you, oops, hold on, let me set my timer. I said we're going to set the timer. Once you've got a couple of breaths in you, here's the tense and release exercise I'm going to lead. What you're going to do is start with your feet and your legs, okay? So squinch up, tighten the muscles in your feet and your legs so my toes are kind of tucked under, my thighs are engaged. Take a breath in. And then on the exhale, you're going to release those muscles. This is why I can't lay down, okay? And then next, go ahead and tighten up the torso. So as best you can, engage the muscles in the abdomen, tighten up the torso, take a breath in. And then exhale, relax. These are fists and arms. Fists and arms, tighten everything up. Take a breath in. And then exhale, relax. Now the face, we're going to do 2 things. First, what I want you to do is squinch up your face as if you've eaten a lemon. Squinch it all up, tighten it all up. Take a breath in. And then relax on your breath out. And then lastly, take your face in the opposite direction. So open mouth, wide eyes, open ears. Take a breath in. And then exhale, relax. Close your eyes. Now, if you are a person that is not imaging or imagining, what I'd like you to do on every inhale, say to yourself, inhale. And on every exhale, say to yourself, exhale. If you'd like to follow along with the imagery, let's begin. What I'd like you to do is imagine that you, as a person, as a human being, is a store, okay? A store, like on the street. This is a physical brick and mortar store. So right away, what I'd like you to do is to start outside of the building. And this is going to be the facade, literally the facade. So what is it that you like people to see about you, right? What is it that you like to show people when they first meet you, when they first walk up to you? So as you put yourself in the image of a store, what kind of door do you have? How many windows are on the front of your store? Here, if you would, just change the crossing of your legs, okay? Change the crossing of your legs. And come back to the image of your store with your, if you're in the imagery. Otherwise, loop yourself back to the inhale and exhale. On the outside of your store, is it brightly lit? Do you keep the door propped open, or is it always a little bit closed? Start to fill in some more details of the outside of the store that is you. And now everyone come back into this inhaling and exhaling. So everyone, as long as you can sustain, inhale, say to yourself, inhale on the inhale. And say to yourself, exhale on the exhale. Inhale. Exhale. If you've got a strap around your legs, go ahead and undo the strap. And then in whatever way, loosen your legs from the strap. And if you don't have a strap, now everyone draw your knees up into your chest, okay? And just teeter-totter a little bit from side to side. Go ahead and roll onto a side. And before you move, let me explain to you where it is we're going to go from here. The rest of the class is going to be just the bolster and the second blanket, okay? Simple. When you're ready, bring yourself up to a sit. We're going to move here sweetly. And if you don't have soft music playing already, I should have said this at the beginning. You want to take some time and put on some soft music. Maybe turn down the lights in the room where you are. Okay. What I'm going to have you do is take the bolster or pillows or a series of blankets, whatever it is you have, and lay it right in the center of the mat, okay? So it is this way. It is this way. This is what we're gonna do. This is a side lying pose. The hip joint, right? The fleshy part of your fanny is gonna stay on the floor. You're gonna, lay sideways over the bolster, okay? Now here are your choices. Either your arm catches your head, or it's kind of nice here to have a blanket, okay? It doesn't matter what this lower arm is doing, okay? Sometimes people put it here, sometimes people put it under. Figure out a way that you feel supported your head and neck, because it's the top hand and arm that's gonna add the stretch here, okay? So here are your choices again. The top hand and arm may come up and over the ear, so you feel a stretch on the side of the body, but the entire underneath is supported. If that feels too intense, let your hand down. We're gonna hold this pose for 4 minutes. Okay, we're gonna hold it for 4 minutes. So maybe you keep your hand up here for a couple of minutes, and then you lower it down, whatever it is. So go ahead and begin. Take your time and get comfortable. Also, at any point during these poses, before I ring the bell, if you don't feel comfortable, of course change, come out of it, okay? Now when you're ready, come back to the store imagery. Come back to the store and go ahead and walk inside. So this is you looking at you. Go ahead and walk in the front door of your store and take a look around. In your store, in your life, in your being, in your personality, how do you have stuff set up? Is everything right on display? Or do you have just a few things, like just a couple of racks showing exactly what you have for sale, what it is that you're trying to sell people about who you are? If you would, somewhere in your store, set up a counter. Set up a countertop, right? This is where you're going to stand behind to greet people who enter your lives. If you are not following this imagery, go back to the tensing and relaxing of muscles. In front of the counter in your store, there are 3 buckets. One bucket is the keep bucket. The second one is trash, throw away. And the third bucket is recycle. What I'd like you to do is go behind the counter. Find something that you keep away from people, right? It's still on the main floor of your being, of your store, but it's right out of sight. Okay. Go ahead and pick that thing up. Is it small or big? Is it heavy or light? Does it have a color or a shape? One more minute here. Everyone, inhale on the inhale. Say inhale on the inhale to yourself. And fill your mind with the word exhale on the exhale. Deepen your breath. Very simply just change sides here. Change sides. Notice I didn't tell you what side to start on. So the second side is probably going to be a little less comfortable, a little less easy, okay? So do what you need to do. Again, the top hand and arm is going to be the one that's going to activate the side body opening. You decide how you want that arm. Starting the clock here. We did 5 minutes on the first side. I'll do 5 here. And settle it. If you'd like, tense and release muscles. Loop into the inhale, exhale narrative. If you're following along with the imagery, come back to the thing that you picked up right behind the counter, just out of the sight of other people. Label it. Walk around to the front of your counter and look at those 3 bins. You decide whether you want to keep it, take it back, you're ready maybe to deal with it. Perhaps you're ready to throw it away. If that's the case, throw it away. Put it in the bin. The recycling bin is this. Do you feel like that's something, this issue or problem that you're keeping out of sight of the general public? Do you think that this is something with a little more knowledge you'll be able to incorporate easier into your life or solve that little problem? That's the recycling bin. It's sort of like a pause, and we'll come back to that later. Let me ask you this. If you decided to throw it away, please now do a body scan, perhaps with those tensing and releases, and feel if there's an empty spot anywhere in your body. If you do find that empty spot, fill it with love. Love on the inhale, love on the exhale. And now everyone, no matter what you've done, no matter where you are for the next 2 minutes, inhale love. And exhale love. Find your breath. When you're ready, what I'm going to have you do is come to, keep the bolster where it is, just come down to a child, okay? With your forehead or arms supported on this bolster. Knees are either open or closed, it doesn't matter. Just come face down here. Deepen your breath into the back of the body. We're going to go face down here. We're going to go face down. If you would look up, lift yourself up. If you have a second blanket, this is what I'm going to show you. Watch here just a second. I'm going to roll this blanket up and put it at the end of my mat for my ankles to go on. And once you get down, you'll kind of see why. Okay? So the pelvis is going to go on this bolster or on your pile of blankets or your pillows, okay? And your head is going to turn to one side. A nice option here is to take cactus arms, so the direction your head is facing, the arm is bent, and the other one is behind, okay? I like the blanket underneath my ankles because my feet start to get sore, okay? We're here for 6 minutes. If you want to hit pause and go find another blanket for your head, now is the time. I'm going to give you a little bit of time to monkey around with this business down here. And then here we go. Eyes are closed. Here with your face down, please check in with your jaw, okay? Maybe crack it a little bit from side to side. Make sure that there's no tension or pressure on that jaw. If you're continuing with the inhale and the exhale, go back to that. Maybe tensing and releasing the entire back plane of your body. Tense up the hamstrings and tense up the back body. If you're imaging with me, what I'd like you to do is go to the basement of your store. This is where you keep stuff. You pack away things that you hope you never have to deal with, but then someday you do, okay? Today's the day, only if you want to. So go into the basement of your store that is you. So maybe something you packed away maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. If you're ready, open it up. Open it up and take a look at it. First thing you're going to ask that is, why did I pack you up? And does it hold as much power over you today as it did when you packed it up? Take a look at it. Is it big or small? Is it light or heavy? Physically here, if you would, change the direction of your head. And if you did the arms the way I suggested, that means you're going to change the arms too. So the direction your head is facing, that arm is bent. And then the other one, the arm is straight. If this is terribly uncomfortable, come back to the child pose. If it's okay, just stay upside down here, okay? Face down. Go ahead and pick whatever that is up. Take it up the stairs. Take it up the stairs. Look at it in the brightness of this day, of who you are. And look at those 3 bins. And you decide. Is this something you want to keep? Is it something you'd like to throw away? Or is it something you'd like to recycle? You choose. And now you breathe. Deepen your breath. And then once again, when you're ready, if you're not in child pose, walk yourself back and just hang here just for one brief moment. Maybe this time cat and dog your spine a little bit, okay? Maybe start to shake loose. If things are starting to shake loose, shake them loose. Go ahead and take the bolster, set it to the left side of your mat. And then lay down. This is going to be a little intermission twist. So come on down. Let's take a little, I'm going to move this so you can see, but the bolster's on your left. Okay. Go ahead, stretch your arms up overhead. Stretch Heels of feet to the corners of your mat. Maybe just circle the ankles a little bit. Could feel the openness of the front body. Okay, the bolster's on the left side of your mat. This is going to be a supported twist here. You're going to hug right knee into your chest. Hug right knee in. The right knee is going to cross over to the left and catch the bolster. Okay? If this is awkward, don't do it. Don't worry about it. Open right arm to the right, only if you like that stretch. Otherwise, if you just want the stretch of the lower body, then keep the arms close. Keep the arms close. But if you'd like, extend the arms. Okay, you decide. Now this top foot might be dangling, so perhaps move the bolster so that the entire lower leg is supported. Okay? Five minutes here. In this pose, please go ahead and take a body scan. Find if there's any empty spaces. If you've decided to throw away either of those two previous holdings, you're going to look for empty space in your body, and you're going to find it with the breath. Start with your feet. We'll move right up here. Start with the feet, the lower legs and the knees. What do you feel there? Move your attention to the thighs and the pelvis. What is showing itself? In the twist, the torso and the upper chest is very open and vulnerable. So as you take deep breaths into those two areas, does anything assert itself that wants your attention? And then lastly here, squinch up your face. Take a breath in. And on the exhale, relax your face. On your inhale, inhale. And on your exhale, exhale. Go ahead and draw that right knee back into your chest. And before you move to the second side, come back to that stretch with the legs go long, arms up overhead. This time make fists and fingers with your hands up overhead. Check in with your jaw. And then take the bolster and move it to the right side of your mat. Hug left knee into chest. And then take the time to take the twist and make sure that that left leg is completely supported by the bolster, okay? So you don't want the foot to be hanging off. You really want the whole thing to be supported. Left arm extends to the left, only if you like that twist. If you would rather hold your hands a little closer, please do that. Okay. Here we go, 5 minutes. Some buildings have little storage containers that are locked, right? They're like in a big cage and there's a lock and a key. Go to that place in you. This is something you're gonna unlock. You're gonna open this cage up. This is something that you've locked away 5 years ago. So really think about this. If you are whatever age you are, think back 5 years. Because if you can locate what it is you've locked away, it's still there. Okay? Now, if you've got nothing, great. Come to the body scan, come to a positive affirmation in and out. But if you've got something there, and if you'd like, unlock the cage and take a look at what it is you've locked up. Is it big or small? Is it light or heavy? Does it have a shape or a color? Then you have a choice here. If you're not ready to look at this, put it away, lock the door, move out of there, okay? But if you're ready to take that upstairs, go ahead and take it. Walk it up the stairs of your store of who you are. Bring it into the light of awareness. And decide whether you want to keep it whether you want to throw it away, or whether or not you want to recycle it. And no matter what you decide to do with it, find your breath, okay? Take a little scan and fill with love. Love on the inhale. And love on the exhale. Take the left knee, draw it back into your chest. Now here, if you would, draw both knees up and in, and then just rock a little. So massage the lower back. Take a little circle-y with the lower spine. How'd all this go? And when you're ready, go ahead and sit up and put the bolster back where it's been the whole time. We're going to come on our backs, okay? I would like to take the time to show you something with a pillow up here, and this is why I don't suggest using a pillow in this pose, and I'm going to show you why, okay? With your butt up on the bolster and you lay back, first thing you're going to find is that it's not in the right place. So you're going to move it up just so it's really hugging in the lumbar spine, okay? Start with your knees bent. Now, if you would take a look at my head, okay? It's up on a little pillow, but notice how now my chin is tucked in, right? I've lost the curve of the cervical spine of the neck spine. Now check this out. If I get rid of the blanket or make it much lower, now you have a more natural anatomical shape here. Okay. I'm going to set the timer for 10 minutes. Here are your choices. These are not new. You're going to stay here. This is great, a nice supported bridge. If you like legs up in the air, you can take that for a couple of minutes. So remember, you've got 10 minutes. You can take all the 3 of these or just 1 or 2. Do whatever you want. And then the third one is where you straighten either one leg or both legs. Now, if you make it to this pose, and I will prompt you once you get there, again, like you're going to have to sort of shimmy a little bit here, make sure it's comfortable. Once you make it to this pose, if you choose to do this, I'm going to ask you to hug yourself, okay? This creates a little passive shoulder opening, all right? So choose where you'd like to start, either with bent knees, just a supported bridge, or here for a while, Bent knees, maybe legs in the air. And again, if you've got your legs in the air and you feel unsupported underneath, take the time to put your legs down, move the bolster. If all of these poses are uncomfortable with a high bolster, replace the lift of your hips with the blanket that you're not laying your head on, okay? So it's a much lower than lift. It's a lower lift, right? It's a little more gentle. Okay, so your choice. I've just got one more here. I'd like you to exit your store completely and go to the shed in the back. Back here in your shed is something from your childhood. Your childhood was complete bliss, great. Come back to the tensing and relaxing of muscles, or maybe you're all done tensing and relaxing. Just ease into the breath. Okay. Come back to the mantra of love or the mantra of inhale and exhale. If you'd like to open up the shed of your childhood, go ahead, now's the time. We're safe and supported here. Just one thing you're looking for. Shed is dusty and dark, but there it is. If you can find it and label it, it's still a part of you. We're about a third of the way done with this pose. If you want to change your legs positions, now would be the time, only if you would like to. If you've got that thing from your childhood, take a look at it. Is it big or small? Is it light or heavy? Pick it up and look at it. Does it have a color or a shape? Does it have a label? This time what I'd like you to do, if you're ready, either put it back away and come deal with it another day. But if you're ready, just take it outside, okay? Go ahead, pick it up off of the shed floor, dust it off a little bit, and walk outside into the sunlight. Here in the sunlight, what's happening to that object is that it's beginning to sparkle. It's beginning to iridesce. It's beginning to crumble. If you would, no matter where you are in the pose, turn your palms face up. And watch this object from your childhood completely evaporate in a cloud of glitter, a cloud of crystals, a cloud of sunshine. Once again here, now is the time to change positions if you'd like. If you're extending your legs here, if you'd like to give yourself a hug, one arm crossed over the other. Both are reaching back to the shoulder blades, but there's no need to grab onto them. You're just resting here. And then use your breath for these last few minutes to blow the cloud away. Watch all these little glittery beings be reflected in the sunlight. And now everyone, deepen your breath. Each inhale and exhale. Look for an opening in your physical body. What have you just freed up? What is it you've gotten rid of? And breathe into that space. We're going to move into Shavasana. Here are your choices. If you'd like to stay on your back, maybe put the bolster under your knees. And now please, if you'd like to replace the blanket underneath. Other options here, if you'd like to come back to that original pose, this will take a little more monkeying around, but you're welcome to set this back up into the recliner, and then maybe take some sort of Baddha Konasana here. Use whatever props you have laying around in order to support your knees. Soles of the feet together, knees go wide. So take your time into moving into this position, perhaps legs up the wall, maybe a side lying pose. Okay. This is going to be a full 8-minute Shavasana. In here, let go of the imagery. Let go of the body scan. Let go of the mantra. And just let whatever presents itself show up. Let your fingers and toes dance. Add wrists and ankles. Add elbows and knees. And then hug your knees up into your chest. Go ahead and roll onto your right side. Pause. And when you're ready, come to a sit. Take some small cats and dogs. Sort of reawaken. Only if you want to reawaken. Sneak everything up tall. Hands come together over the top of your head. Take a breath in. Thumbs to the third eye. I bow to my friends. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. I will see you